All right. So I have an after show.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the after show, but it takes about 5 minutes.
No, that's fine. And how did you know that I was coaching? Because I know a lot of people know that.
You posted it. You said you put it in one of the answers, but I was like, life coaching? I have not heard. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask her because I genuinely want to know why she put life coaching on there.
Yeah, I started I took the course last year, and it was it's accredited and stuff like that. So I'm a certified life coach, and I like it. It's great because it's just a different aspect of working with people to get out of their own headspace. But I'm not a therapist. But you do a lot of therapy work, but I'm not a therapist, but it's just getting people out of their own headspace and making sure that they're okay with doing things and figuring out why they can't get over, like, raising their rates. What are you afraid of? Like, what is the fear? Let's work through the fear. We got to get past the fear in order to do it. And they're like, oh, okay. So awesome. I really like it.
Well, I'm going to refer people ask me all the time, like, are you coaching? And I'm like, no. And it's truly like, I'm just not good at holding people accountable. Like that follow-up, like it's even hard with my 3-year-old to be like, did you do this? And like, not being like, ugh, why didn't you do this? Like, you need to do this. Cause I'm not a life coach. So I'm just like, get over it and do it.
Yeah, I get it. No, I do get it. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I love it. It's just, I don't know. It's like a passion that I found, you know what I mean? So
you look the part too. You look like a life coach. I'm totally looking at you and I'm like, this is a life coach. She's like a motivational speaker, life coach. You need to start, just a Chicago girl needs to go to the life coaching.
It's so funny because I own that domain too. Just a Chicago girl. Yeah. And I thought about that. It's one of the things that I'm working on. So
yeah, you need to do something with it where you're like a motivational speaker.
Okay, I'll work on that, you know.
Seriously.
That's when we get to actually go back out and see people again, you know what I mean?
No, you don't.
You could do it this way too. I have not, it's so weird because it's like I told Joe, I'm like, I just want to go to dinner sometime somewhere. I mean, we have not been able to go out to dinner since March at all. I mean, I'm like, I just want to go to dinner. I just want to go to dinner somewhere. Yeah. You know, and he's like, I know.
We've been able to, because things are kind of open. We went to like 3 hours away to like our cabin back in June. And then we've done a couple of like outdoor seating restaurants in New Mexico, because El Paso, we don't go anywhere because it's too dangerous. Like the numbers are terrible, but New Mexico is literally 30 minutes away and they've done a better job of keeping the numbers down. So we've gone to like patio, like there's a winery / pizzeria that has outdoor seating, and we've gone there even with my like 84-year-old grandmother who's been here. She's been here since August. We've done that, but like now that the numbers skyrocketed again, we're home and we are not doing anything except for like drinking and eating out. I mean, getting delivery.
That's what we're doing. Yeah. Before I came down, I gave them my delivery order. I'm like, I want this, and this. But it's
exactly
too, because Joe and I own land outside of Albuquerque, and that's where we're going to retire.
I've never been to Albuquerque.
Oh, I love it. I lived in New Mexico for 3 years in my early 20s, and I loved New Mexico. It's one of the places that throughout my life, I always said, I'm going to come back and retire here. I love New Mexico that much. And I've lived all over the East Coast, all over the West Coast, and the Midwest. And I always said New Mexico was it. That was the place. And we were last year, a really, really good friend of both Joe's and I gifted us 5 acres of it's undeveloped 5 acres of land, gave it to us for free because he just loves us so much. And Joe and I are going to build a house, and that's where we're going to retire. It's right outside of Albuquerque.
You know what? There's so much close. Like that's what I love about the Southwest is that there's so much nearby that like, okay, you get tired of Albuquerque. You have a million places that you can go to. Arizona's right there. Texas is not, Western Texas is not, and California is not far. So
no, we both like skiing. We both like hiking. We like the outdoors. And I'm like, look, you've got hiking, skiing, camping, you got everything there. You know what I mean? It's not just, you can do anything outside, and he likes Jeeping and all that crap. And so it's perfect, but that's our goal in probably about 5 years is to be down there and both of us working remote. He can work remote because he's in IT. Yeah. So that's our goal is to, in 5 years, be down in Albuquerque or down.
Well, we'll go see you. We'll go see you. I've never been to Albuquerque. So the next time, if we plan any trips, I'm going to hit you up for advice or.
All right. Sounds perfect.
But where did you live in New Mexico?
I lived in a place called Farmington. It's over by Durango, Colorado. It's about 45 minutes from Durango. So I lived in a small town called Farmington, New Mexico.
How did you end up there?
For the airlines. I was down there. that was where our corporate was for a little while. So I was down there for that.
Got it. Okay. So I don't want to keep you all night because your delivery is coming, but I want to play the questionnaire that I ask all my guests to complete at the end of our interview. And it
Okay.
is, did you ever watch Inside the Actors Studio?
I have. I want to say maybe in my early 20s, but I cannot remember it.
Okay. It's an old show. The host has since passed. James Lipton used to ask all of his guests, who were mostly Hollywood stars and producers and directors, he would ask them this questionnaire of 10 questions. And
Okay.
it was inspired by a French show. And this has inspired me to ask my guests these questions, but they're all pet related. So
Okay.
James Lipton did not ask pet related questions. That's for Covered in Pet Hair. And
Okay.
if you're ready to go, I will start right now.
Sure.
Okay. Favorite breed?
Shih Tzu.
Ooh, like Teddy.
Teddy's I've always wanted a Shih Tzu, and Teddy came to me by a fluke, and it was amazing. And he is the best and my most favorite. I will never have a dog like Teddy ever again. Teddy is like the perfect dog for me.
Remind me, I've met Teddy, right?
He was at the conference in Chicago. He's all black.
Nope, then I haven't met him. Was he in any other conference? Because I didn't go to Chicago.
I don't know, but you know, what I mean, no. I could probably text really quick, and he could be down here in a hot minute. You can meet him.
Yes, do that, and then we'll continue.
I'm like, he'll be down here in a hot minute. You're going to see somebody else in my household, but you're going to be a hot minute. But yeah.
Am I going to meet Joe?
Probably, yes. So, all right, cool. Teddy should be down in a few minutes.
Perfect. Okay. Least favorite breed?
Doodles. I am not a fan of the doodles. And the reason I'm not a fan of the doodles, I think they're great dogs. They all have pretty good personalities, but they seem to be all bloody skittish. You know, like they have the weird, it's like when you have, and forgive me, but you have like two beautiful people, the baby never not necessarily be the beautiful. It's like you have two beautiful dogs, and yeah, they get the worst of everything, I think, sometimes. You know what I mean? They seem to be super skittish. I love all my doodles, but they just seem to all have like weird skittish issues. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, honestly, I've only met, of the ones that I've cared for, I've only met really social doodles, but my uncle has a doodle that's actually not at all the temperament that he expected from his doodle. And she's a little bit dog reactive, and she's a little bit snappy. And so I ask about breeds, but really every dog's an individual. And like, sometimes they really aren't everything that they're chalked up to be. And sometimes they're exactly what the breed is known for, right? You never know until you really raise them and figure out their personalities.
Right. Yeah. But I would say probably doodles are my least favorite.
I don't know that I would ever get a doodle because they're just like a high-priced mutt, but yeah. I'll rescue one. But I would never buy a doodle because they're just, I don't really buy from breeders anyway. I don't really buy dogs. I usually they show up at my doorstep and they become mine. But if I were to buy a dog, I don't think that it would be a doodle. So I'm not that it's my least favorite breed, but do your pets sleep in your bed?
Yeah, Teddy sleeps with me. The cats do not. The cats are not allowed to sleep with us. Bin Laden and Harry are not allowed to sleep with us. And that's because I'm allergic to them.
You're allergic to cats and you have them.
I'm deathly allergic to cats. It's one of the reasons why I have a sinus infection all winter long, and I have allergy issues, and I take a bunch of pills because I'm deathly allergic to cats. But I will never get rid of my babies.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
I am one of those moms that it doesn't matter what I got to go through. So if I got to take an extra pill every day to make sure that my babies are taken care of, I'm going to take an extra pill every day. So I take allergy medicine in the morning and at night for my babies. So yeah, but the cat can't, because little Bin Laden likes to sleep right here. So he slept with me for the first year, and every morning or in the middle of the night, I woke up with an asthma attack. And so finally I had to come to the conclusion that he needed to stop sleeping with me, and I stopped having asthma attacks in the middle of the night. So my cats are not allowed to sleep with me, but Teddy sleeps with me every night. Like Teddy tells me when I have to go to bed.
Yeah. Dogs will do that. And then when you wake up too early, they look at you like, hey, I'm not on board with this. What is this? Nobody gave you permission to wake up. All right. Speaking of that, Who or what wakes you up in the morning?
I would say myself. I'm up before everybody else. Teddy is like the perfect dog. Teddy will sleep in bed until forever. He's a sleeper. You know what I mean? I'll get up, like, if I have to get up at 5:00 in the morning, I'll be like, Ted, you want to get up? And he just like lifts his head, drops it down. He's like, nope, woman, I'll see you in a couple hours. So Bin Laden is usually the one that's up with me.
You know, that's the good thing about older dogs. I feel like that's one of the benefits of getting older. How old is Teddy now?
He turned 10 December 1st.
I can't, but that's how long I've known you, since before you got that dog.
Yes, but Teddy has been this way since I got him. Even as I got him at 1.5 years, and he has always been this way. He's not changed. I mean, at 1.5 years, he acted like he was 10.
Oh,
He's
those are the best dogs.
Yeah. There he is. Here he comes. This is Ted.
Hi, Joe. Welcome to the show, Joe. Hi.
There's Teddy. He needs a bath really bad, but say hi, Teddy. He's like,
oh my gosh, he's such a fluff.
Yeah, he is. He needs a bath really bad, but we haven't been able. Groomers are really hard to get into too, right here.
Yes, groomers are doing really well. They're the only ones that them and like retail shops are doing really, really well this pandemic.
Yeah, say hi. Say hi,
hi, bud. Hi.
Okay,
he's gotten so big since the pictures that I remember seeing him of when you first got him.
It's just his hair. Yeah, he's like, I'm leaving. He's eating. He's like,
bye.
yeah, he's eating. So he's like all covered in water. He's it's just his hair. He's only, oh, I got food on me. He's only 19 pounds.
He's just a fluff.
Yeah, it's all hair, because I try to keep his hair longer in the winter because of how cold it is here.
Right.
So he's just a giant fluff ball, if you can't tell.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he's just a fluff ball.
All right, so next question. What's your most used training command or cue?
Yeah, that's probably the word I use all the time. Yeah. When you're walking, it's like, drop it. Leave it alone. And it works the best. I mean, I would say that's probably the word that I use the most. I
use it with my kids too. Yeah, I use it with my kids too.
Okay.
Especially infants. It really, like, when like Mila is trying to crawl and like pull like cords out of the electrical sockets, I'm like, and she's like, oh, okay, I stopped. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so it works on dogs and kids. All right, that works.
I mean, it doesn't work so well on the 3-year-old, but it works on infants.
Okay.
What's your least used training command or cue? One that you should be using, but you aren't using.
Probably stay. I don't use that one very often, and I probably should use that one way more so I can get them used to staying in a space. I would probably say stay.
Stay. That's a good one.
Yeah, stay or place, whatever, it's the same concept. It's just whatever word you use. So I would say that one.
So when there's like an emergency, they're running out the door, you say stay, and they just stay. They don't keep going or whatever.
Or yes, go back to wherever their place is. You know what I mean? Yeah.
When delivery comes to the door, place, so that they're not like up on the front door.
Right. That would probably be the one that I would say I least use, and I probably should use more.
And what pet-related noise do you love?
Pet-related noise, that's a good question. I'm trying to think. I don't like the doorbell. So if that's the next question, the doorbell's not my favorite. Okay, just because it seems to trigger everybody.
Right.
I would have to say, probably because of my cats, I like water noises. I like water noises, and my cats like water noises.
Anything soothing, like the water fountain of the pets.
Yeah, Bin Laden loves, like, my thing, like, to fall asleep sometimes I'll put in rain noise. Bin Laden loves that. He loves listening to the rain. He loves water noises. So I'd say water noises.
Do you have one of those fountains that pets drink from? Like, they sound like water fountains.
I had one, but Bin Laden couldn't keep himself out of it. So yeah, Bin Laden likes to shower with you. He likes water.
He's a golden retriever in a cat's body.
I told you, he is a dog in a cat's body. He's a Newfoundland. I don't know what he is, but I would go with a Newfie almost, because we took care of a pit bull, Delilah. I love her to death. Her
Oh.
mom was in the military also, and she got sent to Germany for 9 weeks, and she was going to board her. And I refused to let her board Delilah for 9 weeks, and I took her in.
That is
And
awesome.
yes, and she's a big girl. She's big and she's strong. She's a big girl. And here's little Bin Laden, all of 6 weeks old, this big, weighs about 2.5 pounds, just walks right up to her and just says, I am in charge. And he's just fearless, but he loves water noises. He loves water. Like when, because I got a big dog bowl when I got a bigger dog, because I had 4 animals at that time drinking out of one bowl, and he would jump in it and take a bath like a bird. So yeah, we didn't keep that one. Yeah.
So awesome. Yes.
He's a weirdo. He just really is truly a weirdo, but he's a good cat.
So yes, the next one was, what pet related noise do you hate? And it's the doorbell that incites everybody's madness.
Oh, it does. Bin Laden's the worst. I mean, he's like the one right there at the door, like, who's here and why are they here? Of course, Teddy doesn't bark too much, but he's like right there, and we just put down our old dog Roscoe last week,
I'm so sorry. I heard about that. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Good boy, but he would lose his mind when the doorbell rang, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think anybody that has infants or small children and animals should never ring the doorbell, ever. Just don't ring the doorbell. Yeah.
Agreed. Especially when there are dogs and infants in the house, because then the dog starts losing it, the baby's sleeping, and now I'm like running around like a chicken with my head cut off trying to make everybody quiet and not wake the baby.
Right, correct.
Never works, because my babies don't like to sleep. So this is a fun question that I want to ask you, because you've done so much in the pet industry. So outside of anything you've done in the pet industry, what other pet related profession would you like to have?
Oh, wow. I thought about being a dog trainer. I did think about that. I don't know if I have the patience for it. I know that sounds crazy as a coach, because as a coach, I totally have the patience for it, but I'm not, because it's different with dog training, because the dog actually gets trained. It's working with the pet parents to actually keep it up. So I thought about that. But I really like working in the educational portion of it. I really enjoy working with people on learning as much as they can in our industry. So I like that aspect of our industry. And I think that if I had to, like, honestly, I think I would probably go into coaching. I mean, like full-time coaching, because I really enjoy it. I really like doing that. I like helping people. That's my personality, is I like helping people. I'm a caretaker. And I think a lot of us in our industry are a caretaker, but it's a different type of caretaking, and you get a lot of positive out of it. So I would probably have to say coaching.
I think you do awesome. Like I said, you're a natural at that. What pet related profession would you not like to have?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. Like, I would not want to do sales. The people that sell all the toys and leashes and stuff, I would never want to do that. That's not my thing. I don't like to try to convince people to buy stuff. Either you want to or you don't. Mm-hmm. Probably dog training would probably be the other one. It's funny because Teddy went to training with a wonderful woman, and she did such a great job with him. Emily Stoddard, if you're ever in Chicago area, she is an amazing dog trainer. And he listens to Emily. Anytime Emily's around, I can say I was a true good pet parent and didn't follow through. You know what I mean? So I think that would probably be the one field that I don't ever want to go into.
So what's really funny is, while you were speaking, I actually see you as like a group dog training person, but not a one-on-one dog training person.
I could see that. I could see group more so than one-on-one. You know what I mean?
I think it'd be really cool, because you wouldn't have to like get really like on the pet parent individually, but you could like really motivate people. And then when they see other people succeeding, then maybe that would be enough to motivate them to do better or to practice at home. So that's something that I feel like you would do, but obviously because you're like a people person. So the more people you inspire, the better, right?
Yeah. And I just look at it as I failed as a pet parent. So, how can I judge other pet parents for not following through? You know what I mean? I failed. You know what I mean? Teddy does not know the word come. Now, if Emily yells it, he's calm. But if I yell it, he just looks at me and goes, yeah, I don't think so, lady. Is there a treat involved? Maybe. If you got a treat in your hand, I might come to you, Ma.
Okay, so I already figured it out. You are the trainer that does a class called Dog Training for People Who Hate Dog Training, and I will be the first one to sign up.
Okay, sounds perfect.
All right, last question.
Okay.
If the Rainbow Bridge exists,
Okay.
who is the first pet to meet you there when you arrive?
Misty.
Who is Misty?
Misty and Tanya. There'll be two.
Okay.
Okay, Misty and Tanya will be my first two. So I grew up in a household with Old Englishes. So when I was born, my mom and dad had an Old English named Tanya. And she protected me to the point of, as a baby, she wouldn't let anybody near me unless my mom said it was okay. She wouldn't even let my dad near me. She would lay on the blanket next to me and wouldn't let any human next to me until my mom said it was okay. And as I grew, like when I started walking, like going up the stairs in Baltimore and stuff, she would lay down. And then if I would try to climb over, she would stand up. And then if I would try to climb under, she'd lay down. She was like my little protector. And then when she passed away, obviously, when I was about 9, I think she passed away. And then when I was 16 for my birthday, my parents got me Misty, which was my other Old English. So I have a thing for Old English sheepdogs. Love them. They are the best dogs in the world. I just know living in Chicago that having a large dog is very, very hard to find housing, which you understand because you've had your troubles with housing and stuff like that. And I found out about the lowland Polish sheepdog, which one of my clients had one. Loved him. He was my favorite, but it's like a miniature sheepdog. They look like sheepdogs, but they're little. You know what I mean? But I didn't know about them. But the Shih Tzu was the closest thing I thought that reminded me of an Old English. They have the same personalities pretty much. So, but if I were to go over the Rainbow Bridge, I believe that Tanya and Misty both would be waiting for me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love them. They were the best. They were sweet. They were great dogs. I mean, Misty was the type of dog that she didn't know the word come either. Apparently we have a problem with the word come in my household. Like she didn't know how to come, but Misty we lived in the country in Colorado when we had her. So we lived out we had, I want to say 10 acres out in Colorado in this little town called Berthoud. And my mom had strawberry plants, raspberry plants. We always had gardens. My mother's from Maine, so we have lots of, I can grow anything. Let's just put it that way because of my mom and her people.
That's
but
awesome.
Misty would go into the strawberry patch and she would literally pluck the strawberries off the bush without damaging the bush. So she learned how to pick it up, twist it just perfectly and eat them. And she would do the same thing to raspberries. And her little muzzle would be like red from eating all the berries and stuff, which imagine every vet that's watching this is about losing their mind, but she could eat anything, And we had cows behind us and she would go out and play with the cows and we'd be like, Misty. And the only way we could get her back is we had an old coffee can that we put like 5 or 6 treats and we'd have to shake that. And that was the only way she would come back is because she thought she was going to get a treat for coming back.
Well, that's the only way my dogs know the command come is when there's like the crinkle of the Zooks bag.
Well, Teddy knows the word come, and we've learned that the word is not come anymore. It's just treat. That
right.
means back to us. Because all I have to do is yell treat, and he's right there. So
exactly
that's the word for come back to mom. You know what I mean?
One of the things that I've learned as a parent is that you meet them where they're at. So if treat works, then you use treat.
Yep.
And come is just something that maybe the next dog will learn.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm hoping. That means that I got to be a better pet parent and keep following through. That's what, you know what I mean? I'm a good pet mom, but training wise, I just got to keep following through.
Yeah. I mean, that's the hardest part, right? And that's the part where as the trainer, you need to like follow up and do the things. And that's also you didn't ask me, but the profession that I would least do in the pet care industry is dog training, because again, just like with coaching, I just can't hold people accountable. And It's not because I don't know how, it's because I just don't want to.
Yeah. Teddy, it just, he pretty much can do no wrong. It's the hard part for me. It's like, you saw him, he's just a ball of squash, you know what I mean? And he doesn't ask much of me. He really doesn't.
At
Well,
10, that's what I would have said about Titan. But Titan is 13 and a half and runs this house and complains constantly. And he is like a grumpy old man. The amazing, wonderful, adored dog that he is. He is one of my biggest stressors all day because he wants in, he wants out, he wants a treat, he wants to eat, he wants this, he wants that. He all day. And I
that
have a 10-month-old baby and a 3-year-old child. And the one that gives me a run for my money is my dog who's 13 and a half and
that was
really entitled.
Yeah, that was our Roscoe. I mean, when Roscoe passed last week, you know, Tuesday morning, we were in the house and I was like, wow, it is really quiet here. Like, you know, we're used to like opening up the back door at least 15 times
Right.
before 9 p.m. And it's like Teddy went out, came back in, went to sleep, and we're like, Teddy, you want to go? And he's like, no,
Nope.
good. You know what I mean? It was weird. I didn't realize how much Roscoe ruled the house until
Yeah.
then.
How
Yeah,
old was Roscoe?
he was almost 15.
Oh, well, you had a really good long time with him. That's awesome.
He actually was a client's dog who, yeah, I've only had him I've had him technically for 6 months. He's been a client of mine for 5 years. And I'm very close with the owners. God, I love them to death. They're family to me. And they, about 2 years ago, they decided to pack up their twins. They had twin 3-year-olds at the time, and they sold everything that they owned and started traveling the world because they figured they would start doing that with the little ones before they went to school, which was
Right.
amazing. And Roscoe went to his mom and dad's house, which is my Papa G and Maria.
Oh,
Yes, and Papa G and Maria, we learned Roscoe had his sister who passed away with cancer before that. And when he went to Papa G's house, we realized that he could not be left alone. He had severe separation anxiety. So Roscoe would come to my house every day to hang out with Teddy. So Teddy became his new emotional support dog. And then Papa G and them moved to California about six months ago. So we agreed to keep Roscoe for the one fact that we didn't feel like Roscoe could make the journey to California in a car and stuff, nor could he be away from Teddy. Teddy was his support dog.
oh,
So we had Roscoe for the last 6 months. So it truly took a tribe to raise Roscoe. His dad was Marty, and Megan is his mom, and then Papa G and Maria took him, and then Joe and I had him at the end. And it
oh.
it was just a blessing. It really took a tribe, and we're all family. We were very close. The 6 of us are very, very close family and friends, you know. And it was hard to let him go. I had to make the decision for everybody because I was the one here, so it was really hard for me. But I did the right thing, and the vet validated it because we did it here at our house because we are not allowed here in Illinois to go into the animal hospital with them right now. And they will not let you in even if you're putting your animal down, which is
Nope.
hard because, no offense, I am not putting any animal down without me being there with them. They need to go away with somebody loving them. And so we found a service that would come to our house, and the vet that came, he was super excited to see her. It was cute.
Oh,
You know, she was like, will he bite me? And I'm like, oh no, he'll be happy to see you. And he got all excited to see her, and then he had to go potty. So he had to go pee before she put him to sleep. So he walked outside, went pee, and she watched him, and she's like, you're doing the right thing. It was his time. His body gave out. His brain didn't give out. His body gave out. And his dad and his mom are in New Zealand currently. That's where they're holding up for COVID. That's where they were in March, and that's where they got stuck, which, you know, no offense, New Zealand was the perfect place to get stuck.
I agree. That is the best place to get stuck during
Yeah,
COVID.
they are living on a farm right now. It's amazing. Like, they have a great life. But we did a Zoom call with them so that they all could say goodbye, you know. And we did a call with Papa G and Maria and said goodbye. And we gave him McDonald's. He got chicken nuggets for lunch. He got cheeseburgers. He had all his favorite McDonald's stuff because he loved McDonald's. So we made sure that all his last meals were all the gross things that you would never feed an animal. But it was his, you know, it's his farewell. And I made sure that he got everything he loved. You know, he got all 10 pieces of that bloody chicken nuggets.
That is awesome. That is so good.
But yeah, so it was a tribe that truly, it takes a tribe sometime to raise an animal.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
you get it. I mean, sometimes it takes more than one person to help you raise
Oh,
them.
for sure. When my husband deployed in 2018, my in-laws took Radar and Kira, and they took them so that I could go to Miami with my two older dogs and my then 1-year-old child. And I was in Miami with my sister and her schnauzer and my mom and her schnauzer, who
Right.
eventually was put down because of his age and he was not doing well. My sister went back to Spain, and we had 4 dogs in the house at one time. We couldn't have done 6 in that house. So that's why
Right.
my in-laws had to take the other 2. And then when we got back, my husband came back from deployment. We got back to El Paso, and my socks was really not taking to having a toddler around. So I couldn't bring Radar and Kira back
Oh,
because Kira and Socks didn't get along. So I was like, now I have to have the toddlers separate from the dogs and the 2 sets of dogs separate from each other. And I don't have 5 acres. So I couldn't do that. And so they kept them for longer. And then once Socks passed away, which we had to say goodbye to Socks in June,
I know.
they
I
were
know part of that.
we were like, bring the other dogs back ASAP. And they drove all the way from New York State
Wow.
to El Paso, bringing us the other 2 dogs, because not only did we miss them and my husband, those are his dogs from before we got married, but Titan needed another dog, and he like loves having Radar and Kira here. So we have 3 dogs now, and the toddler and the baby, and it's like full house. But it's like it really, now is the time that we're all supposed to be together. Had we brought them back when Socks was still here, somebody might have gotten really hurt. So
Mm.
yeah, it does sometimes take a village to keep people safe, to keep people and pets
And
safe
animals.
and happy.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Jessica, for spending your Saturday evening with me. I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful holiday.
Thank you. I plan on it. I actually am off this holiday, my first one in 15 years. So
I
I'm
know.
excited.
I don't know what to do with myself because this is the last show I'm going to record until January, I think 16th or something like that.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm off, and I am going to enjoy it too, because I have a lot of home projects to catch up on.
Well, and you've got 2 little ones, and you got the holidays and, events. They like boxes with paper on them, at
You
that age.
know, my mom just kept asking me, what does the baby need? Mila is 10 months. And I'm like, a box? She doesn't know. But every time we go to the mailbox, my 3-year-old Noah is like, is there something for me? Is that box for me? And I'm like,
Oh,
I'm raising a monster already. I already raised an entitled dog. So I'm raising an entitled 3-year-old.
love it. My nephew, when he was that age, he was so excited. I remember watching them unwrap Christmas gifts, and he would get like socks, and he would be so excited. It's just like the joy of them getting anything because they got to
Yes.
unwrap. That's why I'm like, a box with paper. As long as they can unwrap a box, they'll love it.
Yes, I have a lot of wrapping to do. 100%.
Well, enjoy your holidays too, my friend.
Thank you. Cheers to you. Thanks again for spending your Saturday with me, and let's keep in touch.
Yes, let's do. Talk to you
Cheers.
soon.